well, it can be intimidating to think about music when you're playing an unaccompanied drum solo because it's almost easier to just play a bunch of stuff, fast stuff that you've kind of prepared, and that usually is a successful formula for a drum solo, but it's not always the most musical formula. So I think about four things, and I was directly trying to apply them just now. The four things are dynamics. Everyone knows what dynamics are. Soft and loud, and soft and softer. I think about orchestration, which is basically where on the instrument an idea will appear. The third thing is rate, so meaning which subdivisions you're using. So it could be quarter notes or eighth notes or triplets or 16th notes. I think for me, I get really excited by music that's always changing within those rates because so much popular music is kind of in one rate all the time, one grid. And that can be nice, that can be really easy to dance to, but sometimes it gets a little monotonous. So switching the rate up can have a really jarring effect in a good way, rhythmically. So dynamics, orchestration, rate, and the final one is phrasing. So where within time a certain idea will appear. Again, there's a tendency within drum education to have very... When I started studying drums and learning music, I was reading from books, and that's what got me to a level where I can start to forget about those things because they were ingrained. So it's really important to have that sort of book and structured education, but for me, it can be limiting as well. So if I'm thinking about these things when I'm playing, I feel like I can go anywhere, and this is what's keeping me grounded, and I'm trying to use less individual ideas and manipulate those ideas. Start with a theme and present that theme in many different ways, using these things to vary the theme. And again, because the drum solo is such an abstract thing, I'm trying to create some sort of connection with you guys. And I think sometimes that gets lost when you play an idea and then you exhaust that idea and you go to your next idea and then you go to your next idea. Sometimes that wealth of ideas can be distracting to yourself. You have all these things that you've prepared, but you get lost in the homework you've done. So for me, I'm trying to free myself of that homework, and so that I could be thinking about, so I could truly be present in the moment. So for me, it's more about developing tools as opposed to specific small ideas. And I want to bring those tools with me every time I play, so that I can choose to create what the moment deserves. Does that make sense? So I'll give you really basic examples of each of these, and pardon me if some of them are very obvious, but later we'll combine all of them and hopefully it'll make sense. So let's take a really simple, boring phrase like this. 3, 4. 3, 4. So that's horribly boring, right? But we're going to use that as our example to illustrate how important these tools can be. So just within dynamics, you could work on it like this. So. So on and so forth. Again, we're just trying to master the tool It's less about our specific phrase, it's more about the way we're manipulating the phrase. So when dynamics are used alone, it's not yet too exciting, but they're incredibly useful. Now let's go to orchestration. I won't use dynamics. I'll just change where on the instrument the theme appears. Right, very simple. Again, alone, it's not very interesting, but stay with me. I promise it'll get good. Rate, now the original theme is 16th notes. So we'll present the theme in different rates. So I'll do the original, which is 16th notes, and then I'll play it as 8th notes, which will double its duration. It'll be twice as long, and then triplets will be kind of in the middle, and then I'll do the faster one, 32nd notes. So that was, all four examples were the same, they were all the same theme. And all I'm doing is using the rate to manipulate it. So the rate, already you can hear how that can be very useful, and to the point where you almost don't, I don't know if your mind would think that and you almost hear them as two different things because they're so different. But in my mind, it's one theme, and I'm just using the rate tool to manipulate it. Now, phrasing, all of these other examples, I've always started the theme on one, and now phrasing allows us to put it anywhere within the measure. So, be like this. Right? So again, I wasn't using dynamics, orchestration, or rate. I was just changing where the theme appears. Is all of that clear?
Yeah.
Cool. So now I'll do my best to not leave the theme at all, but I will slowly start to incorporate these four elements, and you'll hear how it can get interesting, hopefully. The hi-hat on quarter notes is just for today's purpose. It's kind of boring as well, but it'll make things much clearer. So on and so forth.